Now for my first column, I featured the top 10 questions not to ask dancers. And these are questions that are asked dancers every day in a conversation, and pretty much the most irritating ones that the girls don't really like to answer. So here we go. Question number 1. Are you married? Now, when guys ask me this question, I usually say, why? Are you taking applications? Because I don't know why any guy would ask a dancer this. If you were in the club looking for a wife, then I don't know what to tell you, because it's the wrong place to be looking for a wife. It's just my opinion, but that is not a good question to ask a girl because it's irrelevant. Number 2 is, have a boyfriend? Again, you ask, why do you need to know? The potential for having the girl for a girlfriend is pretty much not going to happen unless you wish to be a sugar daddy. Then okay, you're in the right place. So she's not in the club looking for a boyfriend or a husband. She's in there making money, and she's not sitting in there waiting for her Prince Charming to walk through the door. Question number 4 is, how old are you? Now, come on, fellas, you know that's not a very good question to ask a lady. You know you should never ask her age, and half the time she's not going to tell you the truth. I tell them the truth, but a lot of times the girls aren't going to, and it's really none of your business anyway. It's another question that's just irrelevant unless you don't, want to get a dance from somebody who's the age of your daughter, but then you can tell if she's the age of your daughter. She's going to look that way, which in a lot of the industry doesn't seem to cater to the older dancers, but I think they should have them because a lot of men don't like the younger ones. So don't ask how old she is, okay? Just leave that off for the conversation. Number 5 is this the only job you have? That's pretty much another irrelevant question, because at this point she's thinking that isn't necessary for you to know. She may be a flight attendant or a teacher, and she really isn't going to want to tell you that kind of information. A lot of women are dancing, and a lot of people, like their family or friends or co-workers at their other job, don't know. The last thing they want to do is divulge that information and have it get out. So that's not a question to ask either. Question number 6 is, what do you do in your spare time? Okay, now come on, fellas. As she's rolling her eyes, irrelevant question, because I think she's pretty much going home and soaking her tired poor feet, or just glad the day is over, just like you do at any job that you do is very physically exerting. So, and maybe if you're lucky, you'd be the guy that's rubbing her feet. Question number 7 is, got kids? Do you really want to know? Many dancers do, and it's their private business, and that's something that they protect. They protect their private business, especially their children. That's not on the conversation menu, okay? Okay, this question I probably hate the most, except for the bonus question. And the question is, you have a phone number? Well, of course she has a phone number. But do you think she wants to be giving it out to you, or are you going to be calling her 24/7, 7 or 8 times a day, or in the middle of the night, or when she's trying to spend time with her family or friends? Excuse me, I don't think she's going to want you to know that kind of personal information. If she does give you her phone number, perhaps it's so you can find out when she's going to be at work. But other than that, don't ask this question unless you know her really well, or she has offered to give you her phone number so you can call her. Better off just to offer her your number, unless of course you're married, and then that's another story. Then why are you in there? Okay. Okay. Question number 9. What time are you getting off of work? Okay, like the girl wants you following her home. Don't think about it. Stalking is illegal in most states, so if this is why you're asking her what time she gets off of work, it's not a good question to ask her. If you're asking her because you want to buy her a drink, or you want to get to know her better, that might be a little more appropriate. But unless she wants to tell you, you ask this question and she wants to tell you, don't ask. Question number 10. Do you give a good dance? I can't tell you how many times I get asked that. You might get an answer like, no, I give terrible dances. Of course she's not going to say she gives bad dances. She's going to say, of course she gives good dances. So that's just a silly question. And on top of that, don't ask for a free dance, because girls work for the tips and tips alone in most states. I know some states they get paid, like in California, but not in Arizona. They work off the money that they get. A lot of the clubs count their dances, and they have to pay the club to work there. So don't insult her by asking for a free dance. That is a numero uno, absolute no question. Okay? And the bonus question, the top actually two that I hate the most is, are you really a blonde, and are those boobs real? Okay, first of all, yes, I'm really a blonde, and no, I'm not going to prove it to you. I've had guys ask me that, and it's just blows my mind. I don't understand why it's so important. But who cares? Who cares if you're really a blonde? It doesn't matter. And if her boobs are real, more power to her. If they're not, who cares? You know, if they aren't real, at least you didn't have to pay for them. So don't worry about it. If they're pretty complimentary, right now you're probably wondering what question you can ask a dancer. The only questions a dancer wants to hear is, would you dance for me, and can I have another dance? And the last question I don't mind them asking is, what other days do you work? Because I appreciate when a guy takes the time to find out my schedule and wants to know when I'll be in the club so he can come and see me. So that I do enjoy. Okay, and if you do get the nerve to ask the dancer out, and she tells you that she doesn't dance or she doesn't date customers, don't sit there in the club and not buy dances from her because you want to go out with her, and tell her that, oh, well, I'm not a customer. Why won't you go out with me? Well, first of all, because you're in the club. And if the girls make a rule not to date customers, that's on them, but I'm pretty sure that if she did want to date you at all, that rule would not apply. So just know that they're not in there to get dates or boyfriends or anything else. So with that in mind, hopefully you could go into the club and have a good time, and the dancer will have a good time too, and isn't that what it's all about? Maybe you blow off some stress and make a new friend. So with that in mind, this is my first installment of Ask Your Muse. The next installment will be questions that are asked from readers or people from YouTube. So if you have any questions, post it here on YouTube or email me at thankyourmuse.com. thankyourmuse@yahoo.com, sorry. And if you want to know more about dancers, I've written a book called Lap Dances for Jesus. Go to www.lapdancesforjesus.com and get my book. So, till then, see you next time.